Hey guys, I'm Shimmer, and welcome to another episode of Noobing and Nern, a beginner's guide to Elder Scrolls Online. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about guilds. There will be time links below, so if you want to skip over some parts, you can. Just click Show More in the About section to see those, and let's get to it. First up, what are guilds? Player guilds are player run in game organizations that bring other players together. And there are several different types of player guilds, like trading guilds, role playing guilds, PvP and PvE guilds. They make grouping for things easier, and the benefits of each guild will depend on what type of guild you have joined. Your account can join or run up to 5 different guilds, so even if you log into another character, you will be part of the same guild as your main character. What types of guilds you should join is completely up to you and your playstyle. It is important to consider how active a guild is in your time zone because what good is a guild if you're awake while everyone else is asleep? Some guilds will have requirements, some don't. So let's take a look at the different types of guilds and what to expect and what you can contribute as a new player. PvE or player versus environment guilds are probably one of the first types of guilds you as a new player will encounter. And these types of guilds are focused most on gameplay aspects of the game, such as questing, grouping, world bosses, dungeons, trials, things like that. They're not so much focused on the other areas of the game, like trading or RP. There are a myriad of different themes of PvE focus guilds, such as female only, 18 plus, 30 plus, no under 18, all veterans, guilds based on nationality. But PvE guilds generally just require that you be active and participate. But generally, the leader will let you know up front what is required. When looking for a PvE guild as a new player, you want to look for one that accepts beginners. If you're a new player, you don't want to join a progression trial guild because you aren't yet ready for that, and you can't really benefit from it. These types of guilds will offer group content. They'll have dungeon nights, world boss nights, sky shard nights, things like that. So that's basically what a PvE guild is. Crafting guilds are a part of PvE guilds that also, along with questing, are a collection of fellow crafters that will assist you with crafting items for you to break apart, trait research, and leveling your crafting skills. Now let's talk about trade guilds, which are a subtype of PvE guild, but are less focused on questing, dungeons, and trials, and more focused on buying and selling of in-game items. Now, you can still ask for groups in guild chat, and we'll see people asking for group, but the main focus of a trade guild is to help sell your items. ESO does not have a global auction house, but instead has NPCs that are scattered across Tamriel to act as your guild's trader. It's a sort of kiosk that other players can come to buy your items. You can only sell items on a guild trader if you are part of a trading guild, and your items will only be available on the trader your guild currently owns. If you are in a trading guild, you can purchase items from your guild by traveling to the vendor's physical location or by accessing it from any bank. If you are purchasing something from a trading guild that you are not in, you will have to travel to that trader's physical location. The best trading guilds will have traders in popular locations such as the capital cities. Ralka is a popular spot, Vivek City. These bigger trading guilds sometimes have a waiting list and are very, very popular. You can only sell up to 30 items at any time in one per guild. So you can join more than one to increase your sales. Most trading guilds will have some sort of weekly sales requirement, such as 20k a week, and this is because every week the guild leaders must bid on their trader. And in the most popular locations, this can cost up to 11 million gold, which is also why most trade guilds will also have weekly guild raffles or auctions to help bring in a little more revenue to help secure their trader. Here are some helpful tools that can help you be more successful. The first one up is Master Merchant. This add-on will let you know approximately what something is worth or has sold for in your guild trader. You will often see in chat someone asking for a PC or an MM and link an item. And then someone with that add-on can then link what master merchant has seen the item sold for by right-clicking and choosing stats to chat. You will then see MM data and then a price. This will help you get an idea of what the item is worth. Next up is Tamriel Trade website. And this website you can search for an item and find out where it is for sale in Tamriel. This can also help you gauge how much something is worth. Now you will notice that something will cost more in a popular spot than it would in a very obscure spot that takes a while to travel to it. That's because it is a little easier to travel to the bigger cities, and people know that. Tamriel Trade is also useful in case Master Merchant didn't find the item for sale. There is also a downloadable add-on as well, and this basically exports your data that you find when you go to different traders and puts it on the website. I personally don't use it because it is a third-party executable, but I do know others that do use it, and it's fine, but I just don't like running those types of programs. The next useful add-on is Awesome Guild Store, and I cannot stress how much you need or want this add-on. This add-on will improve on the item searching by allowing you to categorize and add filters. You can find things in a fraction of the time that it would take you without it. Some important tips: if you are searching for something and show more is on the bottom, click it and allow the next page to load. Sometimes what you're looking for is on a later page. Also, when searching for new items, remember to reset the filters. You don't want to accidentally leave a filter clicked. I will link the downloads for these add-ons below in the About section. So how can you as a new player contribute to a trade guild? Well, selling is a given, and buying things from your own guild store will actually give the guild the taxes from the sale. Volunteering to help is also a way you can contribute. A great example of a good trading guild that mixes a little bit of PvE in it is Angry Unicorn Traders, and this is actually one of the best guilds I've been involved in Elder Scrolls Online. And they have a very detailed and set schedule every week for PvE nights, PvP nights, trial nights, and they have their raffles and weekly auction. The creator of Master Merchant actually runs it, and it is just it's a very great place to be if you want to sell items, have fun, and do a little bit of PvE as well. The next type of guild is player versus player or PvP guild. And these guilds, their main focus is the PvP aspect of the game in Cyrodiil, Imperial City, and Battlegrounds. When you're a new player, it is generally important to run around in a group in Cyrodiil, as it offers you more protection and kind of gives you a chance to learn. PvP guilds are great if you enjoy PvP, as you can group with fellow guild members and wreak havoc on your enemies. It is important that you join a guild of your faction. In PvP, you cannot group with members of other factions. So if you forgot what faction you are, you can always hit C and check your character sheet. The icon next to your name will tell you what faction you are. If it is a blue lion, you're a Daggerfall Covenant. If it is an eagle, you're an Aldemary Dominion. And if it is a dragon, you are Ebonheart Pact. So find out what faction you are and find a guild that supports that faction. Some PvP guilds cater to small group PvP, some for beginners, some for large group PvP, and requirements for these will depend on which type you choose. But generally, being friendly, active, and helpful is all you need. The next type of guild is a role-playing guild or RP guild, and this guild will focus on role-playing inside the game. Our peers will take immersion into gameplay very seriously and have written very elaborate character background stories, personality, and history. They assume the identity, actions, and discourse of their character in the game setting. Role-playing guilds will help you find RP events where groups of RPers will get together and unfold a story, or will learn more about other characters by talking to each other in character. At these events, people remain in character and don't generally speak out of character. Most guilds will require that you use some sort of VOIP or voice chat in order to participate in some events. They could be using TeamSpeak, Mumble, but more than likely they will be using Discord. These are third party voice programs that allow you to talk or listen to other members of your guild. They are extremely important when explaining boss fights or coordinating a large scale PvP group. VoIP is also fun just to socialize, talk, and ask for advice. I will link the download for Discord below, but the setup is pretty simple. For the sake of everyone in the channel, I do recommend setting up a push to talk or PTT. This means that people will only hear you when you hold down that button that you choose. Make sure you choose a button that you can easily reach when fighting or in combat. Using a push to talk will eliminate people from hearing you chewing, sneezing, typing, breathing heavily, from hearing kids, or if you get wife or husband aggro. Um, when a guild wants you to join Discord, write down or copy and paste the address they give you as that is their server. On the upper left-hand corner of the Discord box, you will see a plus button in a circle. Click it to add a new server and put in the address that they gave you, and voila, you are now ready to speak to everyone in your guild. Now you may be asking, where do I find guilds? Most likely you have seen some guild advertisements in Zone Chat as you've been leveling, but you can't really learn much from the limited space that it gives you to type the advertisement. You can always /whisper them to ask additional questions, but the very best place to look is on the forums. This is where you can see more information like if they take beginners, what type of guild it is, what server, what faction it is. You can visit this section of the forums by going to forums.elderscrollsonline.com and choosing your appropriate platform under the guild recruitment category. So you don't think any guild fits what you want? That's fine, you can start your own guild. If you plan on running a large guild, it is a lot of work, and you have to have good people skills, know how to deal with drama, as well as be open-minded with the understanding that people do come from all walks of life. To start a guild, press G on your keyboard, and then press E to start a guild. Then you'll need to come up with a very clever name and choose an alliance affiliation. Then select Create. This is when you'll be able to start recruiting. When you get 10 players in a guild, you qualify to create a guild tabard. And this is something that displays over outfits and armor, but not over costumes. While wearing it, it will display your guild name over your head. Make sure while making it, you do have the money, 1,000 gold, in the bank to create it. And you'll have to have it deposited in the bank because when you go to make it, it will not pull it from your inventory, but will rather pull it from your guild bank. Once you have created your tabard, members can select Guild Store from the banker to purchase one. Once you get 50 members, you can start a Guild Store. This requires that you choose an NPC vendor and bidding on them. Not every guild will get a trader, and each week, guilds can bid on only one trader. Every time you bid, the money comes out of your guild bank, so make sure you have money deposited in your guild bank to make those bids. You can bid on the same trader multiple times throughout the same week. You and the other guilds bidding on that vendor have no idea what each other is bidding. On every Sunday evening, that is when the guild trader has its changeover. This is when guilds will find out if they have secured their trader. For a period of 5 minutes, no one can access any guild trader, and guild leaders will receive a mail indicating their bid status. Guild vendors can be hired from as little as 10k for one in an obscure location, or for as much as 11 million for one in a more prominent spot. Now let's go over some basic guild commands. Of course, you know G opens your guild menu. To chat with members of the guild, you'll need to enter /G1 for your first guild, /G2 for the second, /G3, and so forth. You can tell what number is assigned to what guild by looking at the drop-down menu and counting from the top. To leave a guild, you'll press G, and then you'll see this button at the bottom to leave the guild. If you're an officer, you can also speak in the officer chat by pressing /O1, /O2, etc. depending on what guild you're an officer in. At the top, you'll see the Home button, and this is generally where leaders will put info such as the Discord server, website address, or important information about weekly events in the message of the day. The next tab is the roster, and you can see who's online, where they are at in their level or champion rank. It's also a good way to travel if you don't have many way shrines, is to use your guild menu to travel to different players for free to get way shrines. The next tab is ranks, and this is where you can see or set permissions for members of your guild. You can even rename the ranks so you can be very clever with it. Do be careful what ranks you give bank access to, though. You don't want the wrong people having access to removing items from the bank or removing money from the bank. The last tab is the History tab, and this is where you can see detailed information about the constant going-ons of the guild and like who's being invited, who's being kicked, who's deposited, and who's withdrawn things from the guild bank. Whew, that was a lot of information, but hopefully you now have a better understanding of guilds in Elder Scrolls Online. I want to thank Daphne Roberts for making the video request. Do remember to make video requests in the comments below, and I'll get to them as quickly as I can. But thank you everyone for watching, and don't forget to like and sub if you enjoyed it, and have a great day.